Are you all dancing to the music? Are you all ready for the week? I'm ready for the week. I'm ready to get set off down the motorway. I'm on holiday next week, guys, and I'm super excited. So it's going to be an amazing show. It's my last show. I am coming back. I keep saying it's my last day of work. I promise you I'm coming back. Well, you never know, I might get to Thailand and think, oh, I'm just going to stay here. Let's retire early. Yes, is there a shopping channel in Singapore? I love that idea, Johnny. I might just ask around. It's going to be amazing. If you didn't know, I'm going on holiday next week. It's my last day of work today, and then I fly out. In fact, this time next week, I'll still be on a plane to Singapore. So it's super exciting. I'd love to know tonight where you've travelled far in the world. What is your longest flight? I'd love to hear about that because my flight's going to be 13 hours. So that's a really long flight. I can't even imagine still sitting on a plane when we left this morning next week and still have 5 hours to go. I mean, that's a long old flight, isn't it? I've stamped lots of bits out, so I'm going to do some colouring, got films to watch. Let me know what you do on your long flights. It'd be good to know. I'm not on my own tonight, of course. I've got Johnny and Charlotte in my ear. They're full of positivity tonight. I think they just want to get rid of me now. That's the thing. I think they just think, Debbie, we've had enough. We've had enough. Go, go. But anyway, we've got 2 hours of Monday Makers, so it's going to be amazing. I'm not on my own either in the studio because we've got this lovely lady in here that's been with me all day. We've had a good old catch up. I've been finding all out about Jan and her jobs and what her role was with Crafters Companion, so it's been so nice. I like being on this side because I really find out so much about my friends, my team is, and because I'm really nosy, as Johnny says. Everyone knows I'm the nosy one. Everyone says, Debbie, why don't we ask the questions? I say, because you're not as nosy as me. She's over there in our studio. Jan, we've had a brilliant day.
We have, and I was brought up on the basis that if you don't ask, Debbie, you don't get.
That's
so,
me.
yeah, ask
Absolutely.
away. Yeah. People can say no, can't they? But yeah, if you don't ask, you don't get.
And
so,
all I say to that is make sure you've got a thick enough skin to know that people can say no. I don't mind people saying no to me because I just think, well, I'll ask the question, and I always say, but you don't have to tell me, but please do.
Please do.
Yeah, please do. But I'm quite happy if someone says no. But if you've got a question to ask tonight, Jan is in the studio.
Absolutely.
Jan, what have we got on tonight?
What have I got on tonight? Well, I've got a nice pink top on, and yes,
she's
it's going to be one
tonight.
of those nights, isn't it? We have got that gorgeous Once Upon a Time collection, which I must admit, the more I work with, the more I fell in love with it. It is a lovely collection. So we've got that as our main focus tonight. So I've got demos lined up with that. We've also got those lovely mindfulness stamps that we've been sort of giving you a sneak peek of during the day. And then I have some Spectrum Noir pens as well to show you. So we're going to incorporate those into a demo with one of the products that we had on the Craft Vault earlier. So if you've actually bought into that product, then yeah, I'm going to show you how to use it. Well, I'll show you how to use it with the pens. So yes, nice lineup.
I can't wait, Jan. You know that our Jan is such an amazing demonstrator, so can't wait to see what she's got lined up. Plenty of you in tonight. So we've got Susie on social. So good evening, social. Good evening, Susie Social. She's saying one show left, Debs. Yes, absolutely. Just 2 hours till my holiday starts. Absolutely. Anna is in from Texas. Hello, Anna. We've got Osley in and saying good morning from California. Rebecca is in from South Carolina. Georgianne is in. She's saying hi, Debbie and Jan from Florida. Debbie, have a fabulous vacation, very romantic. Yes, it will be. I can't wait. If you haven't noticed. Then we've got Nanny to the girls. Hello again. All hand pink waving from Wisconsin. Sarah's in saying good afternoon, everyone from Texas. We've got Susan's in saying good day again, everyone, and Susie from a rainy Stair Rods, that says S-E-U-K, Southeast UK. Stair Rods. What's Stair Rods? Stair Rods. From a raining Stair Rods, Southeast UK.
I've not heard of that one before.
Or does it say rocks?
collection. It's rocks on rocks.
Coloured glasses, terrible, isn't it? Colin's in this evening as well. Corey Collins. Stephanie is in as well. Stephanie is in, says, I don't think you could be any more excited than you are every day on CTV, Debbie. Ah, that's really nice. Well, I hope that's a compliment. Tanny is in saying, hi, Debbie. My longest flight was to India. It was 11 and a half hours from New York. Yes, that's quite a trek, isn't it? Let me know what you did on your flight. Trace is in saying, Debbie, you must have a lovely holiday. Our longest flight is South Africa. I was born there and we now live in England. I fly there every so often, so it's 12 hours. Deanna is saying, hope you have a wonderful holiday. My longest flight was from Chicago to Korea. It was 15 hours.
Ooh,
and I can't wait to see your photos. That's a long one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose it's a bit like Australia. I mean, I don't know how long the flight is to Australia from the UK, but that literally is the opposite side of the world, isn't it?
Yeah, literally.
So that must be the longest flight. I've never been to Australia. Have you ever
No, I
wanted to go
haven't.
to
It's somewhere
Australia?
I've always wanted to visit, but I've never actually been.
Yeah, maybe we could holiday. Maybe we could, 22 hours, direct. Or we could go the same with Sarah Brown.
We could.
Sure she'd let us. Yeah, she's in Melbourne. Well, how long's to Melbourne, Johnny? Yeah, I reckon we can time that. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah,
He's doing all the
we'll
maths.
plan that.
21
hours. Oh, that's a long time, isn't it? So, yeah, Sarah, get that spare bedroom made up. Johnny's coming as well. Yeah, we're all coming. Anyway, let's get on with the show tonight. So the first thing we're going to be showing you is the Once Upon a Time. This is such a pretty collection. Now, unfortunately, as with all Sara's collections, it depletes and the paper pads have gone. Even the 6x6, we thought we had some, but they went this morning. But we do have what's left in this collection. And if you didn't manage to get it, it's on a really good price today. You're actually saving 10%. Platinum price £36.80 or $48, and these are the items that we've got, which are still beautiful items in this collection. So we've got our happily ever after couple here, which are beautiful. So your prince and princess, or your bride and groom. You've then got your princess silhouette. Absolutely stunning that one is. I love how they've designed that. Your Once Upon a Time. Jan used that in her demo this morning. We've also got that beautiful Make-A-Wish. I love this one. I think it is so usable. I think you can use it for so many different things. You can see that fairy die and all those different background stamps. No collection would be complete without that beautiful sentiment stamps, and there's some really lovely ones in here. Something for everybody, and especially for weddings. We've also got a set. It's the first time we've done individual ink pads like this, shimmer ink pads in one of Sara's collections, and you're getting 4 of those little mini ones. They're amazing. We've also got embossing folders on here, so that 3D embossing folder, which is our Enchanted Rose, and then the other one that we've got in there is that Enchanted slipper, a glass slipper. It's absolutely beautiful. That's the one that Jan won in the card of the show on Wake Up Call this morning. So if you want that collection, it's an 8-piece set. Today's price, £36.80 or $48 platinum. Right, we're going to head over to Jan, and she's got a demo in store with us, or with this collection, should I say. What have you got, Jan?
Right, so I've said this before when I've been demoing with collections. I sort of like spread out all the pieces that I've got and then have a look and see which bits I want to work with. So for this particular project, I thought it would be nice for those of you that haven't actually seen it yet to pop the little archway together, show you how that works. We're going to use the little happily ever after, the little dancing couple, which I think are gorgeous. And then I've also already stamped a sentiment out from the sentiment, the everyday is a fairy tale, and it says follow your dreams. So we're going to use that one on our project when we've finished. So put that to one side. I have got some craft card to do the archway with, and when I actually took this out and had a look at it, I thought this is a lovely little die. So I'm going to bring one of my Gemini plates in. I'm going to pop my piece of card in, and this comes in different sort of bits and pieces, and you build it up. So you've got the 2 pillars, we're going to put those on. This is actually the piece that goes across the bottom, and then the top piece that goes across the top is in two halves. So you've got the outline, and then you've got the most gorgeous little intricate sort of filigree part that lays over the top. Now I've already done that bit ready. I've got one of these done, but I wanted to show you how it went together if you haven't seen it before. So we'll just stick these pieces down so that they're not moving about. So we've got the two pillars and the base there, and then see if we can get that bit to stick to there, and the top. And then I've got a scrap of green card which I'm going to cut. It's almost like trailing ivy, so if I just cut that down to size, and then I'll cut that at the same time, because this is actually designed, it's very cleverly designed to actually wind around the trellis work. So we'll pop all those on there, just put my normal set of shims in there for a thin metal die, and we'll pass that through our Gemini. Now you have got some extra little pieces on here. You've got a lovely little set that punches out some little teeny tiny flowers, and I'll show you how I've used those. There is some leaves as well. Now I didn't use the extra leaves, but I'll show you what I've done with it when I show you that finished example. So we've got our bits and pieces there at the ready. I'll come back to that one in a second. So out of here, we need that top section, like so. Pop these straight back on here so that I know where they are. Then we've got the base and the two pillars.
So this die isn't in the collection, but can we find it on the website, Johnny? Or is it sold out?
Is this not in what we've got left?
No, I was just looking at it. It's gone, but we're just checking to see if it is an individual.
Available individually. It's called Elegant Archway.
Oh, that's gone. So apologies, but don't worry, Jan. Carry on, because a lot of people will have this die
you
already.
see, when I start prepping, these things are there, and then obviously by the time we come to air, some of them have sold out, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But not to worry, if you've got this, at least this will be a nice demo to follow.
And then we've got that lovely little piece of ivy here. So what I'm going to do then is just pop that piece out at the ready. Now I cut this one twice, one for each side, but I'll just show you how the idea works. So you've got your two pillars and you've got the top piece there. You can see roughly how this is going to go together. So just with a little bit of wet glue for this, I'm going to pop some on the bottom here, she says, if my glue decides it's working. I think it's already gone on holiday, Debs, honestly. It's left the building.
Unlike me, of course, I'm still here.
Yeah, of course you are. And then
Won't
this
be long,
one,
though.
and all I did was follow the picture on the front of the die here, just from the point of view of putting it together. Yeah. So I've just put that one on the bottom. I've put the other one at the other side. And then just made sure that they're sort of straight. I used the grid on my mat just to make sure that they were running parallel. And then this one is going to fit over the top. So again, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of glue across the top of those columns. And then again, just make sure it's lined up. And this one's just going to attach to here. So you've got the basis of that archway. Does look a little bit out, that one. Yeah, that one's not quite straight. There we go. And then the idea behind the ivy, and I thought this was ingenious the way this has been designed, is once you've got this ready, this one you can see is the right length. But what I did with this was start at the front here, and then if you just weave it around, just gently, it looks as if it's climbing up the column. And I just thought this is ingenious the way it's been designed. And then all I did was just tack it down at the back. I put a little bit of tape just to tack it down at the back. But you can see how that sort of goes around there, and then I did one for the other side. Now the filigree piece that I talked about here, this actually cuts out and then sits inside here. like so. So what I did was I had a play around with this at home. Now the actual craft card, I've just sort of lightly gone over with a little tiny bit of gilding wax. It's not a lot, it was just a little bit to highlight some of the areas. And then you can see that ivy as it's actually woven round each side. This is the filigree piece that I was talking about here. And then this one, you've got, it's all one piece here, but you've got 3 tiny, tiny little type of like daisy flowers. And I've just cut those in a couple of colours and just dotted them around as if they're growing up the vine. And I just think it's a really pretty one. So if you have been lucky enough to get that one and you haven't had a play with it yet, that's how easy it went together. Beautiful. And we're going to use this as a feature now on our design. So I also took the little happily ever after. I love this one. And I've cut that twice. I cut it once in craft card, and then I've cut it once in the satin gold card, the mirror card. And I've just popped them together with a little tiny drop shadow. So I've got the craft card in the background and the gold over the top. And you can just see how there's a little tiny bit of the craft card showing, just to give it that little bit of shadow behind it. So I've got that one ready as well.
Beautiful.
So those are going to be my main embellishments. And then I've stamped out my sentiment here. And then this was, I'm not going to use the same phrase, but this was the card we were talking about earlier, Debbie, with the middle cut out of it.
Oh, Debbie's, yeah, one of Debbie Robinson's ones that she likes.
So I've actually made myself, I think it was 6.5, yeah, 6.5 inch square card. And then I've taken a section out of the middle. Now I've actually put vellum in mine, and because the vellum was quite flimsy, it's quite thin, I put a layer of acetate behind it just to give it a little bit more substance, because obviously I want it to stand when it's finished.
Oh, good tip.
Okay, and then I've just taken some papers. Now the actual design papers are from Secret Garden.
Nice.
So yeah, like I said, I don't have the paper pads, but a lot of what you've already got will fit nicely with the collection. And then I believe this was the vellum from the same collection. So I took all those out and popped those together. So we're just going to pop those 2 layers that I've created on the top and bottom. And then what I want to do is sort of bridge the gap with that little archway. So we're going to put one of these, and these were cut from the same piece. So I want that pattern, yeah, to follow on from top to bottom. So that one's going to go across the top. And then I've got the same for the bottom.
Just shows you though, whatever papers you've got in your stash, you're going to find one that works for you.
Honestly, there are several that will work with it, yeah.
And actually, I'd forgotten until you've shown that how beautiful the Secret Garden pad is.
Oh, I love that paper pad. I love any paper that's got the text and the music in the background. I just think it's just, I don't know, it just adds a bit of something to it.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be my base card, and then we're actually going to pop the little archway to bridge the gap there. So I'm only going to tack it down at the top and the bottom. I have put tape all the way over it, but I think I'm just going to take the tape off that top edge and off the bottom edge. I don't think it really needs to be stuck in the middle. So again, I'm just going to position that where I want it on the card and literally just go over from one side to the other. And make sure it's stuck down at the top there and at the bottom, which will be enough. It doesn't matter that it's not secured here for what I'm doing with it. And then I've got my little dancing couple at the bottom. They're going to go on this side, and I've just popped them up on some foam pieces here. So again, just use my foam pads and cut them down to fit the back there.
Oh, look at you, you're a whiz now taking those
I've
tops
mastered
off,
it,
Jan.
honestly now. My pokey tool's been my saviour, honestly. It really has. It was like I struggled like crazy, and I thought, right, we need a tool. And yes, it's come to my my aid.
Foam pad Jan now.
It does the job great. There we go. And again, because we're going on to that uneven surface, I'm just going to grab my glue again. And as I say, this becomes a habit after a while. It's one of those things that you can't not do. Now, I think my glue wants a little clean. It's misbehaving tonight. Sometimes it gets a bit clogged up inside. Come on. Who else talks to their craft things?
Oh, I talk to all inanimate objects.
Yeah.
And I name them.
Oh, it's still, yeah, there's a little bit coming out, but not a lot. I think we've got, oh, here we go. It's all right. We've got it. Then it comes out by the dozen, you know. So, yeah, these are just going to go down here at the bottom, like so. So just going to hold that a second because we've got that tacky glue grabbing onto the vellum there. And then I thought the sentiment could go, there's a gap here, so I think that needs the sentiment up at the top there. Now then, dare we risk it again? Is it going? Yep, we're all right. We've released the blockage. And then this one, I'm just going to pop up in that top corner like so. So again, you can add your gems to this if you want, however you want to decorate it. And then of course, you know me, I like to go inside the card as well. So just to bring it all together, I've actually matted and layered a piece of the white cardstock. I've taken another stamp from the set here that says, where you believe there is magic, you will find it, which is this one from here. Stamp that inside, use some little scraps of leftover, and then these were the little flowers that I had left over from actually doing the archway. So rather than, I know they're only little tiny bits, but rather than waste them, it just all links that inside to the outside elements. So again, you can see the middle of the pink's missing. Use that for something else. And then this is just going to go inside. It also helps to weight the card. If you have problems with your cards when you stand them up, it's what we tend to refer to as giraffe legs, where the cards slip and they lay flat. This is a good way of actually combating that because you're adding some weight to the inside as well as the outside. It does help with keeping them more sort of static rather than them sliding and slipping open. So that's just using some of the elements. My apologies that the archway's sold out. As I say, when I did my prep, it was still showing on the bundle. So those of you who've got it can have a go at doing the card. If not, there are so many other dies in that collection that you could use.
Absolutely, that is stunning, Jan. Absolutely love that one. I love the craft card. Don't ever apologise because we know plenty of people have got that out there, and you can always use them on there. Just a quick recap of these beautiful dies. So you've got our Happy Ever After couple there. We've also got our Once Upon a Time. You've got that beautiful silhouette princess. I love this one, which is the Make-A-Wish fairy in that die. You've got all those sentiments as well. Lots of beautiful sentiments on there. We've also got that pack of 4 different colours of our shimmer ink pads. We've also got the Enchanted Rose, absolutely gorgeous, and also the glass slipper in that embossing folder. So lovely. Asuli is saying, I'm so excited today as well. I have this collection. Yay, that's brilliant. It's a beautiful collection. Nanny to Girls is saying that her longest flight was 16 hours from Wisconsin to Tel Aviv. Lynn is saying, I've just got in and my cut out dies, my plaid pads and metallic markers and flip markers. I'm excited to play. There's nothing better, is there, Jan, to get home and get your parcel.
When your parcel's arrived, you just want it's forget about the tea, forget about the kids, forget about the cleaning and just get in the craft room and get playing. Yeah,
sling your bags to the side, rush up to your craft room. It's so exciting. Sarah Brown is in saying, hello, my gorgeous crafty friends, popping in before I get some sleep. It's 3 a.m. now, and I do believe Debbie's going on holiday. Enjoy. Yes, but Sarah, we're going to Melbourne now.
We've rerouted.
So, Lynn Harvey is saying, hi, Debbie, Jan and CTV team, the wonderful social superstar. I hope you're all well and having a great day. I think we're all having a great day. Jacqueline is saying, hi, Mary Beth is in, joining us tonight. She's having lunch from Minnesota. Sherry is saying, hello, Debbie, Susie and Jan. She's saying hello from Ohio. I can only watch for a little bit. I'm on my lunch break from work. Well, we're glad you're joining us. Stephanie is saying hello again. That colour of your top is wonderful on you, she's saying.
Thank
Jan.
you.
Sarah's back. She said, I can come on just as Debbie and Jan were talking about Australia. Oh, she perhaps didn't hear. I thought she was saying we could come. So I come on. She says, I come on. I thought she was saying we could come. Yeah, we want to come to Melbourne, Sarah. Mary Pat is saying, good morning, everyone, from a sunny Montana. And my longest flight was from Montana to France. However, my memory thinks it was Montana to Japan. Diana says, so nice to see Jan demoing, absolutely. Everyone wishing me a lovely holiday, thank you so much. Heather is saying, yes, keep going, Jan. I have that set and I need to make a wedding card, which just shows you you have to continue to use the dies even if we're selling out. Sherry is saying, lovely card, Jan. Colin's saying, thanks for showing that demo. I have this set and I can't wait to play. Colin's saying, Debbie, have a lovely vacation, and Jan, love the demo. Lucia is saying, so beautiful, can't wait to try. Susan, lots of comments tonight saying, pretty colours, loves that. Mary Pat, lovely card. Mama is saying, I appreciate the demo, thank you. And Nanny's a girl says, beautiful, Jan. So yes, absolutely stunning. I do love that collection. It's not one that I've got hold of before, so I'm a little disappointed, but maybe one day. Right, buddy bags. We showed you them earlier. They've been extremely busy. You love a buddy bag. There is so many on here. You're getting all four of these for £12. No, yep, it's that one. £12.80, which is incredible for 4 buddy bags. We've got our Terry. Love the Terry one. It's got you can hold your pens in Terry, but also I like the fact that you can put extra in there. So you can see our Illustrator pens are in there, but you can see how much room you've then got on top inside here. So if you wanted to put your tri-blends in, you could put them in, but it worked for so many other things. It's got the plastic tray in there as well, so it's a great design to have that one. That's the Terry. We've got our Teresa. Teresa is the one that we keep all our little sparkles, can't think what they are, glitter pots in there. It's full of glitter. The good thing is it has a little tray in there, so it's great to be able to stop things getting too messy. It's all white clean, you can see what you've got there, and even the little Terry, I said the wrong one, didn't I? Teresa's bag has the little handle on the top as well, so you can pop it out of wherever it comes from. I do love this one, so I think this is a great one. Irene is one that you can extend. So Irene has the 2 strips of Velcro, so we had it on the bottom one. You can put it on the top one, and then you can store taller pots in there or whatever you're putting in there as well. And again, it's white clean, it's durable. They're just amazing. You know the buddy bags are good. This is the time to stock up on some extras, and this one is the Denise. Denise opens at the sides and at the front, so it's got a really nice big opening to there, so you can see everything that you've got in there. It also comes with the 3 little pots in there as well, so you can put things in compartments and keep things completely stored away. Absolutely love those 4 bags, and you're getting them all today for £16 or $23. You're saving 30% on that. Grab those buddy bags because they are going really fast. Right, so, it's telling me different things. Pen trays. Let's bring these in. You love these. In fact, do you know what, Jan? We've had these for years, since we first bought our Pet Spectrum Noir in, and they sell in their droves. You absolutely love them. You are getting 6 of these trays. I've just took 2 out of the boxes so you can see how they are. They literally stack on top of each other. I move that out of the way so you can see it a little bit better for anyone that's not seen our pen trays. And you literally slot them into each other from the sides. They've got little slots that go in. You can also slot them side by side, so you literally pop them together like so. Just pop that in there, and then you push those down, and you can store them flat, and they will all stack as well on top of each other. They're amazing, and they're half price, so I'm not surprised people go for multiples of these. They're universal trays, so even though we'd love you to store our pens in them, if you've got anybody's pens, they are going to be perfect for that. We even though our tri-blend markers come over a bit, we still store our tri-blend markers in there as well. So they're great trays to have. You're getting 6 trays for $9.99. I mean, that's amazing. If you're platinum, $7.99. online. So really good. Great gift giving. Again, I know I've mentioned that lots today, but if you're buying pens, if you're buying stamps, if you're buying anything like that, then you want the storage to go in them. Get the buddy bags, get the trays, get those Illustrator pens, all great prices today. You've given someone an amazing gift, which is incredible. So absolutely love those ones. Right, mindful quotes, yes. Now, we've got these. I love these. I think they make us stronger when we give those quotes to somebody, when we say something to somebody. They're quite impactful. Make today amazing. I think we should all get up in the morning and say to ourselves, make today amazing, because it'll just make you feel much better. And when you feel much better, you giggle more and worry less. I love that one. That is very, no, I don't know what the rest are, Johnny. He said, are you going to try and do that with all of them? I should try, shouldn't I? Hang on. So when you giggle more and you worry less, good things come to you that take time. No, doesn't work. I should have planned it a bit better, shouldn't I? Good things take time. Yes, if you're not worried, so giggle and worry less, and then good things take time and will come to you quickly. Dream more, work harder. They're not really following, are they? So I did the first link that was good. We will give up then. This one's a great one. So and I think it's quite I think it's a really nice one. I mean, I would say work harder and dream more, but actually, I think if you dream about something, you work harder to get to that dream. Achieve the dream. So I totally understand that. It's a really nice one. And think happy thoughts. I've always got happy thoughts. I mean, my thoughts are just holiday at the moment. I can't think of anything else. So holidays are happy thoughts, aren't they? Think happy thoughts and then breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in. Charlotte wants this on the wall in the gallery, yes, because they don't get a lot of breath inside the gallery. There's no windows, no windows. Jan just opens the window behind her. She's the only one that opens that one, aren't you, Jan? We always thought it was a fake window, and then Jan realised that it was a good window. You could open it, yes, they're amazing. Jan, have you got a demo with these ones?
Especially for you, I chose the Think Happy Thoughts. I must have known. So we're going to demo with these. Now, if you were watching earlier, we did a demo with these and we just used one of the quick dry inks.
Sarah Brown said we can go on holiday to Australia.
Excellent. Yeah. We need the Crafters TV bus, don't we, to go on?
The whole team, she says.
The whole team. Oh, bless her. Bless her. So again, you can see we've got a good size. We're looking at about 3 inches by just over 3.5 inches. So these are a great focal point. So the one that we did earlier, we just used a quick dry ink and used the colour. This time we're actually going to add some embossing powder to a sticky ink and give that lovely sheen to it. So I've brought in my stamping platform, and rather than stamping onto white cardstock, which we tend to do a lot, I've actually got a little piece of pattern paper. So if I show you my matte layer that's going to go on the card, this is what I've made to go as the matte layer, and this is from Country Lane, and this is the reverse of that particular paper, so it's got that wood grain on the back. So this is going to go in the centre like so. Now, because it was paper and I was going to apply heat to it for the embossing, I have actually sort of stuck it onto a piece of card to make it a bit more substantial. Otherwise, the heat was likely to ruffle the paper beyond sort of repair, really. So I'm going to pop that one on here, just anchor it with the magnets, and then we're going to place our stamp where we want it to go. And I'm going to build up the inking. So I've actually brought some quick dry inks with me, and then I've also brought my sticky ink to go over the top, and I'll explain as we go along. So all I'm going to do is just centre that roughly on my panel there, make sure it's straight, and then when we're happy with it we can pick it up with the top of the stamping platform. So what I've done is I've brought 2 colours of quick dry. I've got the green topaz and the smoked emerald, which were the same sort of family of greens as what my cardstock is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the whole thing with the green topaz first and stamp it out onto that cardstock. So just give it a really nice generous covering. And then we'll have a look what the depth of that is on its own. I didn't know whether this would actually be dark. I think it's going to be dark enough over that green paper. But I am going to build it up like I did if you were watching earlier. I tend to do a couple of layers. Yeah, it's a little bit patchy in places. So again, if you just add a second layer, you're going to get a better coverage. It will build up that sort of strength of colour. And it's worth doing the extra sort of, the extra stamp, I think, just to build up that depth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the darker shade in, but I want to sort of grade it as if it's like giving it an ombre effect. Let me just press that bit down in the middle there. There we go. And then this time I'm going to bring in the darker one, which is smoked emerald. But all I want to do with this one is come up from the bottom. I'm going to come up about maybe a third of the way up the stamp and not do all of it. What I want is it to be darker at the bottom, as if we've got that kind of ombre effect going on. So I've just done that bottom section there, and then we're going to over stamp again. And again, this is the beauty. I know I'm always going on about the stamping platform, but if you haven't got one, this is the beauty of having that magnetic platform. You can over stamp as many times as you want. So again, I'm going to do that a second time just to get that depth of colour on the bottom. So just up about a third of the way up the stamp. And you can do this with any of your colours. You know, you could actually make like a rainbow stamp. You could do it with two, you know, complementary colours rather than the same colour family. Lots of different ways of doing this. Okay. And because these are quick dry, that's the kind of look that I was going for. They're literally dry as soon as we touch them. So what I'm going to do is just take the residue off my stamp now. It's water-based, so I literally just use a cloth, and that's as much as most of my stamps get. So just get rid of that residue green ink off there. Don't move it, just leave it where it is. And then because I want to bring some clear embossing powder in, I've got to make this sticky now because it's dry. Because if I put the embossing powder on here, it's literally just going to slide straight off. So all I'm going to do is bring my watermark, my translucent ink in, which is just a clear sticky ink. Mine's a little bit grubby because it has a lot of love, but it should be clear. Okay, and I'm going to put that one over the top, so it's not going to affect my colour at all. I'm still going to get that colour come through when I do the heat embossing, but it's going to give me a sticky layer which should be enough to actually attract that embossing powder. So again, pop that one over the top. We know that it's going directly over what we've already done. Give it a good press down, and I should only need to do one layer of this. If it doesn't cover it entirely, we can always go again and do it over the top, but just make sure that that sticky ink's transferred. And then what I'm going to do is take this out and sprinkle, whoops, and this is a clear embossing powder, so it's going to stick to that sticky ink, but as we dry it, it's going to allow that colour to come back through. So you can see there that we've got like a, it's like frosted almost now. Yeah. The colour's disappeared underneath. But once we bring the heat tool in, and I have to apologise to our Johnny because my little heat tool's no longer with us. Oh, so I have got, you know,
Did it need a body bag?
I am very impressed. It did need a body bag, yes, bless it. You know, I've not been able to bring myself to throw it away yet. Oh. It's still under my desk. I've had it that long that I've not been able to bring myself to throw it away. Now, lots of people go on to the high heat for heat embossing. I still prefer to do it on the lower heat, which is why I had that nice little gentle heat tool. So the biggest tip I can give you with heat embossing is to get your heat tool up to temperature. When you apply heat to cardstock, it will warp the cardstock. No two ways about it. So the less time that you've got the heat on it, the better. So if you get this up to temperature first and then head for the cardstock, it should stay on there less. So I'm going to start in this bottom edge here and just hold it over here long enough for that embossing powder to start melting. I don't really want to move it around too much. I'm just going around that area at the bottom, and you can see that green starting to come back through. So the clear embossing powder's melting over the top, and we're going to get that lovely green from the inks.
You never tire of this, do you?
Honestly, it's one of the first things I learned to do when I started crafting, and to this day I still love heat embossing in any shape or form. So again, once it's turned and you can see that sort of shiny surface, move on to the next part. Just be careful of your fingers. The heat tool does get very hot. Okay, and just chase it around the design, and then I'm going to flip it round so that I don't burn my fingers. I'll take my own advice. And then pop it.
It's like magic.
It is. So you've actually got the colour of the ink, but we've got that lovely sort of shiny finish on it, and I just think it adds like another level to your card making. It just, that glossy finish on it, it just sort of adds that extra bit of wow factor. So again, once it's turned, you can move straight on. Don't hover over it too long, otherwise you'll find that it starts to sink back into your cardstock again, and it doesn't seem to be, it should be slightly raised. But again, I'm just going to leave it alone and let it dry. But if I actually pop that in the light now, you can see how that shiny finish on it is catching the light.
And actually, Jan, I think you've shown something that I haven't seen before, because we always think about our pigment ink pads to do heat embossing. But for anyone that doesn't have our pigment ink pads, all they need is their quick drying if they've already got them, and the translucent
I have done this technique before with the, I sometimes, if I'm doing the black, really black stamping, I'll use my quick dry first to get the depth of colour, and then I'll use the black pigment ink over the top. So I could have actually gone in with the pigment ink in the topaz and the emerald, but I just thought for this purpose, again, it's just showing you different ways of doing it. To put the, as long as you've got something sticky on there that's going to attract that embossing powder, you're going to get the same job. And I wanted the colour to show through, that was the main thing. And you know, it's got a little tiny bit, you can just see a little tiny bit of warping on it, but not anything major. So then all we're going to do is pop this together just as a basic card on this one. So I've got my 6x6 inch, and I've literally matted and layered onto some plain white cardstock. This is the multi-purpose cardstock. I've got a layer from the paper pad, from the Country Lane paper pad, a little bit of ribbon out of my stash, and that one's going to be my sort of matte layer on the front there. So we'll get that one popped down first. In fact, I think I will put some of our Collal this time. I do tend to rely on the tape pen a lot, but the Collal glue, you're going to get a really good finish. It dries sort of rock solid. So if you've got any weight on the front of your card, it's a great one for sort of using to get that extra strength. Now, I haven't done any decor for the inside of this one, but again, you know, you could do a matte and layer to go inside with an extra greeting, or you could just leave a space to write a message in there to the recipient. I've actually left this one blank inside this time. So again, just make sure that's nice and stuck down. Of course, the beauty of using a wet glue, it just gives you a chance to sort of wiggle it into place. If you're not so confident with the placement of your layers, the wet glue allows you, you know, you've probably got a good, I would say a good minute before this starts to cure, and therefore you can actually wriggle it around into place if it's not quite straight. And then all I've done is I've just been in my scrap box, and this is actually a piece of the satin from the luxury green cardstock, the one that has the glitter, the mirror, and then the satin card in. So I've just used that as a matte layer because I wanted something darker to offset this against the background. And again, I'm out with that foam because it's quite a large area. I've got those pieces of foam. And if you weren't watching earlier, this is actually, I buy it from one of our local craft stores, and it's called Funky Foam. It's actually with all the kiddies products. I think it's aimed for kids to cut shapes out of and things like that. It's only about 1/8 of an inch deep, but you can layer it up, you can put 2 layers on. But when it's something that's quite a decent size area, rather than using goodness knows how many foam pads to cover it, I just find this is a really quick way of doing it. And I do like to use my tacky glue on top of this rather than the all-purpose. So again, with the tacky, pop it on. It does work better if you can just leave it a few seconds for that glue to start curing. That's where it gets its name from. It goes tacky. So we don't often have that luxury here in the studio, but if you can just leave it a little while, you'll find that you'll get a really nice stick with it. So this one was going to come down rather than centered. I thought we'll bring it down into the corner. So I'm just going to look and keep an even gap here and here just to offset it a little bit. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. Now normally, because of the warping, I would normally go with my red line tape on here. Let me just see if I've got any in my bag. It's a good way, yeah, to get it to lay flat. So if you have had heat on something and it does warp it slightly, it's a good way of actually getting it to lay back down flat again. So again, I'm just going to pop some pieces on, and I didn't put it on the back of here before I did it because it doesn't tend to behave very well when you apply heat. So if you're going to add tape or adhesive to the back of it, wait while you've done your heat embossing. I've done it before where I've put the tape on first and it just doesn't seem to like the heat at all. So again, make sure you've got all the bubbles out of there and it should come off quite easily. And then again, if you're not confident with that placement, just pop a little tiny bit of wet glue over the top and it stops it grabbing quite so quickly. Gives you that little bit of room to just place it. And we're just going to line that one straight over the top. I've just left that 1/4 inch border again. And then once we're happy with that, we can commit to sticking it down. And then we're just about finished. I've just popped a couple of little gems here and I thought we'd echo that just at the bottom with a couple here to sort of offset it. So again, I know we've all got, if you're anything like me, you've got drawers full of gems.
And
I have a drawer at the side of me in my desk that is literally just designated to gems. That's all there is in it. Oh, you know, my girl said to me, Mum, you're never going to get through all this stash in a million years. I says, I know, I've got enough to sort of set up shop and I know we're all the same.
Me and Debbie were talking about ribbons yesterday. How many
ribbons? Oh gosh, yeah, ribbons, you name it. All sorts of paper flowers, all sorts. I've got drawers full of it. So if I turn you that one round, you can just see how we've got that focal point there being your stamped image, those mindful quotes. And again, just by adding the embossing powder, you can just see how it's picking up that sheen in the light there.
It's beautiful.
And again, if you wanted to pop, you know, another piece inside, you can matte layer inside here. Probably I would just put a piece of white in there just to offset it, and then you've got somewhere to write your sentiment on.
Oh, that is beautiful, Jan.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that one. Now, if you're inspired and you'd like to do ones like that, these are our mindful quotes and what we have in the collection. So we've got that breathe in, breathe out. Think happy thoughts, which is the one that Jan just used. We've got that dream more, work harder. Then your good things take time. Your giggle more, worry less, definitely my mantra. And then make today amazing. Now they're a 6-piece collection for £11.50 or $17.50. If you're platinum price, look at that price, under £10 or $14 in the US. That's amazing. Right, you've been sending in your pictures. So we've got a little photo gallery going on here. Linda, that is stunning. Absolutely stunning. That was the craft along that our Michelle couldn't do. She made the craft along, but Craig did the craft along. Absolutely stunning. I think I might have to go back and watch that one. I'm really liking that
lovely,
craft
isn't
along.
it?
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Linda. Rhonda sent in her album. This is her baby book. So Rhonda sent this in the other day and she said she was going to send us some updated, there we go, updated pictures.
Do you know, I love making the memory albums.
Yep.
Look at that with the little pop-out pieces.
That's amazing.
That's
I like those floating pages that come out the book. They're nice, aren't they? That's incredible. Oh, Rhonda, I think it was for your grandchild, so they're going to love that. Absolutely beautiful. So lovely. Right, now we have a club, if you've not heard about it. It's called Club Inspire. Now, if you've not heard of it, take a look at this and find out all about it.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
My dad was a printer, which was the old, the old letter set printer, the type, the old printer's type. So he used to bring home offcuts of card, and so I always had paper and card around me from as long as I can remember. He would donate bits of offcuts to the school I went to, and so it was always accessible. My mum and dad bought me colouring products, art products, and good quality art products, like adult quality art products. So I found I could draw from a really early age. So really between that and crafting, it's just been punctuating all through my life. I think you can get inspiration from anywhere. It's hard, there's never one source. It's from anywhere. It could be a crafting person, it could be a non-crafting person. It inspires me in different aspects. It could be art, inspiration from artists, inspiration from crafters, or inspiration on just inspiring people. It's all about the viewers. If it wasn't for the viewers, then there is no purpose in moi. What am I doing it for? It's not about me, what I can do, it's about what I can inspire the viewers to do. And if I'm not inspiring them, then I'm not doing my job. So it's all about the viewers, and it's all and keeping them interested, fired up to give new things a try. And mostly any blocks, anything that holds someone back is more confidence than ability. That's what I've found. So if I can inspire people and give them that little bit of confidence to give them the nudge, fantastic. I think the biggest achievement is keep doing what I'm doing for so long now. I remember, when I first started, everything's new. It can just, maybe the enthusiasm and the love for what you do might wane. But it hasn't. Here I am, as I said, 18 years further down the line, professionally crafting. And I think that's my greatest achievement, is that I'm still loving it, doing it, enjoying it. And the feedback's been incredible from the crafters, and that's what I'm doing it for. So that, I think, is my greatest achievement, and the feedback I'm still getting. Not many people know this, but I'm going to share this now. Is when I lived in America when I was 19, my eyelashes turned white. So this is still my hair colour. Oh, I'm getting on a bit now, but it's just a natural hair colour, dark hair colour, white eyelashes. I look like, the John Wyndham, the Midwich Cuckoos. I look like one of those little alien people with me if I don't wear mascara. Underneath it, lily white eyelashes. Go figure. I did worry for a while I was going to turn white, emanating out from my eyes, which would have looked very strange to try and disguise for a bit.
Oh, always love hearing about us all up here, and especially Sheena now she's joined the team. She'll be back in on Wednesday to show you lots more inspiration as well. It was great working with her last week, which is amazing. Right, now we've got Illustrator. I've only got an hour to go, guys. And just in case you didn't know, I'm finishing tonight. I'm on holiday next week. So I'll still be in the sky, flying over. I don't know where I'd be. I should have looked to see where I'd be flying over right now in a week's time. But I'll be on my way to Singapore, and I literally cannot wait. I feel giddy with excitement, so it's going to be amazing. Now, illustrators, another amazing thing in the craft world. I love these pens. You've heard me say it time and time again. I want to put these in your hands so you can see how they colour, because they are the creme de la creme of our crafting pens. They are beautiful. We took a long time to wonder. I remember when these first come out, and we wasn't going to put them in the crafting world because we wanted them to be put in the artist quality.
Yeah.
But then we decided that it wasn't fair to not bring them into the craft world when so many of you are really good colourists. And that's what we love to use, is good quality pens. Now, what about good quality pens at an amazing price? Look at that price there. I mean, it's insane. £65 or $110. Platinum price, £52 or $88. That's absolutely amazing. Now, you're getting 4 packs of the 12 pens, which show all the different ones. So this one is our Seascape. We've then got our beautiful Landscape. You've then got the Sketching. I love this one. It's got some really nice colours in. If I turn it round, just see all these colours along the top, which could go really for your sort of florals, your landscapes, just add to all the ones that you've got in there. They're amazing. We've then got these ones, which are your figure. Another good one if you like to do all your skin tones, your hair tones, that's the one for you. It's a really nice one to have. 48 pen collection, £52 or $88, which is amazing. Now, I believe, Jan, you're going to do a demo with these on Illustrators.
I am, yes. So I thought, right, we'll have a look. And what I did is challenge myself, you know, like as if I've not got enough going on. I thought, right, I'll challenge myself to just use one of the sets. So I actually chose the Landscape set, which has got all those lovely greens. There's a blue in there, which I've used, and then you've got some of the more of the earth tones in there, hence the Landscape. Now, I'm actually going to combine this. I did talk about this earlier. We had these as a collection on the Craft Vault earlier, and these are our colourable creator card dies. Explained how they work, showed you some of the boards and some of the samples. I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you how, if you've not seen them before, how they actually work, and we're going to use the set to do some colouring with them. Now, I have got one finished because obviously the colouring does take a little while. It's something that, you know, you don't need to rush. You can enjoy at your leisure. So I'm just going to get my set of pens out of here, and I will show you those in a bit more detail in a second. So in your packet, you're going to get your beautiful sort of focal stamp, and then I've got 3 separate sentiments in that one as well. So I've actually stamped out my sentiment, Chase Your Dreams, and in here you do get a couple of the metal pieces that cut out the sentiment, which I think is just gives it a completely different look. So I've stamped it first, then I popped the metalwork around it to cut it out, and then I've just inked it with a little tiny bit of ink to link it in with the rest of the card. So what I tend to do with these is the stamping first and then die cut it out. So I'm going to bring my platform in again. I've got a piece of Nina cardstock in here this time because this is my chosen card if I'm working with alcohol markers. It does work on the multi-purpose card, but I just personally prefer the Nina. It's a nice smooth surface for those alcohol markers to work with. I'm going to take out that main focal stamp and position this, and I'm going to take this element as well. We're going to need both of these to cut it out, but rather than just the square piece, this is the one that I want to make sure that I've got my stamp in a place where I've got enough round it to add the frame, if that makes sense.
Yes, perfect.
So if I had my stamp too high up here, it's going to come off the edge of the page and we're not going to be able to fit the frame in. So all I want to do is make sure, using the die, that I've got enough space there to add my frame around it and cut that out. So I'm going to leave those for a second. I've got that in position. I'm going to pop the lid on there to pick that up. And then again, be mindful of your inks. Because we're going to use an alcohol marker, I've gone for my alcohol proof dye ink, which has got the alcohol marker on it here so that we know it's the right one. And again, I've mentioned many, many times before that my preference is the Flagstone one. I do like that grey just as a stamping outline. So again, ink it up, give it a good coverage, And again, with the platform, you can always go in a second time if you don't get a good print the first time. But once you've got that ink on there, we can pop this down, press it, make sure that the ink's taken contact with that page. And then hopefully once we get that lifted, we've got that lovely image going on there. So I've just got most of that. There's a little tiny bit at the top there, which should still be on my stamp. There we go. Okay. So then once you've actually got your stamp in place, I would recommend doing the die cutting next. Rather than actually colouring it in and spending maybe a good half an hour or so colouring and then die cutting and it ending up slipping, the last thing you want is for it to disturb all that colouring. So all I'm going to do is position both of these together. All right, now if you want to cut into your card, if you want this to be a larger frame, you're just going to use this first bit by itself. But I actually want it to be that little narrow frame that the outside edge creates. You can see there like so. So I'm just going to first of all make sure that this is in the right place. And again, you can see all the way around the outside of that stamp. So you know that that one's in the right place. Okay, and then I'm just going to take that one down. I'm going to leave this bit here so that I can add my frame in. Okay, and then I want to pop this one in, and again just keep an equal distance all the way around. So if you just eyeball so that you've got about the same distance all the way around the frame, that looks good enough for me, and then make sure it's all stuck down. So once you're happy with that, that can go inside our Gemini plates just on that normal sandwich of plates for a thin metal die, and then we will pass that one through the machine there.
Jan, do you always cut before you colour?
Majority of the time, for the reason that I said, yeah, because there's many a time where I've spent an age colouring away and you only need something to slip or you've not positioned it right, and then it cuts out and you just, it's soul destroying when you've spent all that time colouring in and then your die's moved and it's actually cut into your design. So I think personally it is worth actually doing that die cutting first, and then now you know that it's all done and it's in the right place, you can then spend your time with the colouring. So we've got some little pieces that come out of the aperture. Let's get the tape out of there. So that one's coming out, and then the same at this side. That one comes out, and then you can see when we take these away, you've got that lovely little frame. Okay, I've got a little bit of, I think that's a bit of felt off my ink pad that's just got in the way there. But you can just see how we've got that lovely design to work into your card. And then because we're alcohol colouring, I do usually bring in a piece of scrap card to rest on. And then again, it's, you know, depending on where you want to go with these, what we've done in here is we've tried to put you combinations within one set. So for example, I have got an LG1 and an LG3. So your leaf greens, you've got two shades of the same family. I've got DG2 and DG3, which is the two that I'm going to use for my leaves. And these are the same family again. You've actually got a darker one there as well. So if you do want to do some shading, you've actually got the means to do so. Now, what Debbie was saying about these was that they've got that beautiful, it's the smallest of the bullet nibs that we've got, I think, on any of the pens.
Yes.
And it allows you to get into all those little tiny spaces. But I think the beauty and the selling point of these is that gorgeous Japanese nib on here. And even though you've got sort of quite a chunky nib there, it comes to such a point that it is suitable enough to sort of get into all these little spaces. So again, just using this one and flicking that colour into the place. I'm not going to worry too much about leaving highlights and things like that. I'm just going to go for a whole colour on here. And I tend to go over it a couple of times just to get that saturation in there. Okay? And you can see how that point will go right into the end of there. And then I'm going to take the darker one and just a little tiny bit You can see how you can do that flicking with it. I just love them. And then again, just to blend that in, I'm going to come not right over the top of it, but higher up, and just do a few more flicks over the edge so that it'll blend that darker one in with the medium one. So again, from the bottom, you can apply that colour, and you do need to reach sort of like a saturation point, which is why we suggest that you put the cardstock underneath. It is normal with alcohol colouring that when you've finished, you should be able to see on the back that it's started to bleed through. That is normal, and that's why we suggest you put like a, it's almost like having a blotter underneath it. So again, just that one little tiny flicks, just to give that little bit of depth at the base of the flowers.
Makes such a difference.
Just a little, you know, it's not difficult, it's just that little bit that just gives it that sort of bit of dimension. And then make sure I get the right lid on the right pen. And then I took, what did I do? I did the yellows. These aren't the same colour family. We've actually got an LY and a GB. All right, so you can blend them even so. I used the yellow one first of all to colour in the flower here. So again, just lay that colour down. I'm not too worried about, you know, sort of where it's going at this point. I just want to get that main colour, and these are great for actually filling in more, you know, sort of space at a time. Now, you know that I love my tri-blends, but you can actually lay a lot more colour down with the brush nib than you can with a bullet nib. They're just so easy to use. And then once I've got that one in place, even though this is a different colour family, I've gone in with this one in the centre, and again, just flick that colour up from the centre, just to give that depth to the design. And again, constantly turning that work around. Rather than trying to come into a funny angle, turn it so that you're actually working away from yourself. And then obviously the underneath of the petals, where they're just sort of curled up that little bit, theirs are going to be a wee bit darker. So I've gone into the edge of there. And then again, just to blend it, not to go over the top of it. If you use a light colour over a darker colour, it will essentially bleach out the darker colour. So all I'm going to do is just come from the outside, and again, just flick into that darker colour, just so that it's not quite as harsh a line. And then used this one. This is the brown. This is actually oak tree. But this time, I'm going to use that fine bullet nib because I just want to highlight those little stamens. And you can see how useful it is to have that little tiny bullet nib in there, just to add some fine detail. And then I've also done the dragonfly as well, and I've matted and layered him ready to go on my card, but this is what we ended up with, and that's just using the colours out of that one set of markers. Now, if you've got the whole bundle, you've got all those markers to mix and match, but I thought, right, I'll just see if we can do it. And there were sufficient colours in there to actually do the whole design with just that one set. So we'll pop those to one side. I'll put those back in a second because they have to go back in the right place because OCD says so. I can't just put them back in the packet. They've all got the right place to go. And then what we're going to do is, what I've done with this one, to just explain where we've got to. This was the original frame. You can see here that I've got on top. And then I've done a couple of matte layers. I've got a plain blue one here, and then I've got a blue glitter card. And what I did is I've measured how far in this wanted to come to the edge of my frame. And then with my knife, I've actually cut the center out of those two layers because I wanted it to be see-through. And then I've popped a piece of vellum behind this layer, okay? Then I've stuck it onto my matte layers. But I also wanted it to look nice and neat because once you've finished colouring, if I turned it over, you're going to have all this blotchiness from the alcohol markers, which doesn't particularly look very attractive when you see what I'm going to do with the card. So all I've done is I've cut the dies together again on their own, just out of a piece of Nina cardstock. And I've actually put it face down and trapped it between those matte layers
good
and
idea.
stamped my sentiment on the back of here, because we're going to see both sides of this piece when we pop it together. So that's how I arrived at that bit. I've just popped some gems on. Nothing's finished in my world without a gem. And then I've made a couple of extra mats that we're going to use. So this is going to be the middle one. And these are going to go at each side. Now these are just some scrap papers that I had in my stash that I've used here, along with that plain blue and the blue glitter card again. And these are all going to go on like a little trifold card. So I think this was 12 inches if I remember rightly. Oh no, it's a bit longer than 12. I must have done an extra 12 3/4. Okay, by 5 1/4, and that was to meet the size of this panel. So I've gone with the extra 1/4 inch from this panel here. Now I've done the same. I measured where this needed to be and I've cut this out with my knife, because what I want to do is actually pop this one in the center so that you can actually see through from one side to the other.
Very nice.
So I've got a little bit of red line tape. I've just put a frame round the back just to sort of like link it in. And then the red line tape on the front here is going to secure that sort of middle panel. Now, if you're not sort of great with using a craft knife, I must admit it's not my go-to tool. If you've got dies, you could actually cut these panels out with a die if you wished. So let me just work. We're going to go that way. So this one is going to go right in the center here, and I'm hoping, I'm just going to lay it on lightly so that when I turn it over, we can make sure that it's in the right place there. That's good enough for me. Okay, and get that one stuck down. And the idea of that is that you can actually, because it's vellum, it's translucent, so you can see through that panel. Then we're going to put one of these on the front edge. And it's going to be like a little trifold, like a concertina card. So again, we'll use that all-purpose on there.
I like that you use a brighter colour card base, Jan. Don't normally see that.
Yeah, it's something I've started doing. I used to get bogged down with all my card bases being white.
Yeah,
and
me too. I do exactly the same.
Yeah, and I just thought, you know, let's have a look at something different. So I've got some old pieces of coloured cardstock that are quite a decent size, that actually what I was using when I was at school, to be honest. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to start and use some of these up. So it's quite a decent thickness for a card base. And I just think it's nice to actually have the colour behind it as the card sometimes, rather than the white base. It just brings in another sort of, it's almost like having another matte and layer to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm going to start doing this because I'm loving that you're using coloured cardstock.
So these are slightly offset, so I'm going to put the narrower piece to the outside edge. And the reason these are like they are, again, full disclosure, is that I didn't have enough of the paper that I was using to bridge the gap. So I've done it in panels, and then this actually hides the join underneath. So whereas it looks like a design feature, it's actually covering up the bit underneath, okay? So we've got that as so you can see the idea is this is going to be here. And then it opens up and you've got the detail inside. So it's entirely up to you then as to whether you have this on the front of the card. So it could go on the front here, or you could have it. I think it tends to cover up the design here. So I'm going to bring it on the front. So again, I've just put a few little foam pads on the back of here and just cut them down to fit the back of the sentiment. And I love that you've got, again, I get bogged down with just doing a square or a rectangular sentiment. Sometimes I use my nesting dies, but I just think to actually have the die to cut this out just gives it a whole different look. And there were a lot of designs in that collection earlier. So again, we'll just bring this one in because it's low. I have to do this just to give it that bit of extra.
It's law.
It is law. In Jan's world, it's Jan's law, and that one's just going to go on the front. Okay.
Jan's law.
And again, you know, you can add extra details to this. I just wanted to focus on the pens basically, and have something to colour. So I would probably add maybe some little dragonfly embellishments on there just to link in with it if you've got them, little die, or if you've got any sort of metal charms or anything like that just to go with it. But the idea with it is that you'd got that sort of little card to go in your envelope that folds reasonably flat. You might need to just pop a little spine in your envelope, a little envelope box, but when you open it, you've got that lovely see-through panel. You can see there behind it that you've got that translucency. It could be acetate in there, it doesn't have to be vellum if you wanted it totally see-through, but then when you turn it round, you've got your other sentiment there on the back of it. So this again's
like
from the stamp set there. So yeah, just something different, and just showing you how to use the pens with the collection if you bought into these earlier.
It's amazing, Jan. A great demo. I love that, and I love the vellum actually. I think I like that sort of frosted look. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now, if you want those pens, they are on a spectacular offer today. You're saving £34.96 or $69.96. It's incredible value, and platinum price £52 or $88 is amazing. The first one here, you're getting that 12 pack with your figure. You're also getting the beautiful sketching one. You're getting that landscapes, which is the one that our Jan was using to do that dragonflies, which just shows you can use it in so many different ways. And then we've got our seascape as well. All 48 pens will come to you for £65 or $110. So that's amazing. Right, so we've got 24-hour deals, and it literally does mean that in 24 hours from this morning, so through to, would it be till midnight? Yes, these deals will go away, so midnight West Coast. And when, sorry? Tomorrow it'll be taken off. Yeah, absolutely. So you've got number 3 and 4. You're getting tons in these magazines. They are just incredible magazines. Anyone that's had our magazines before will know just how good they are. You're getting so many different projects in here, and freebies and papers and magazines and tutorials. There's absolutely loads and loads in our magazine. These are really good quality. They're packed full from the first page right the way through of inspiration, projects, step-by-steps, beginner's guides to different things. It's just a really good round read. You've got there's things in there that you can read, there's things that you can make, there's puzzle corner in there as well, so lots of different inspiration. And what I do love about it is you have what you know what level it's at, so whether you're a beginner or an advanced crafter, it will let you know. Everything's done in step form, some things are picture form as well as the written instructions. Lots of inspiration that you'll find in there, which is why it's called Crafters Inspiration. It's a great magazine to have, and if you've had one before, you'll know the level of detail in our magazines. Now, also what comes in this folder, which is amazing, is a whole sheet of papers. You get a die cut topper, which is reprintable, but obviously it wouldn't be die cut. These are die cut out, so you can just pop them out and they're ready to go. But we do have the most amazing papers in each of these magazines, because remember, you don't have to choose, you are getting both of these. All those beautiful designs, flip through very quickly, but those beautiful designs that you've got there throughout that you can reprint from your magazine. So you've got them time and time again. And then on top of that, and remember, this is still just one magazine, you are getting your beautiful stamp set there. They are absolutely gorgeous. You're getting your die set here, which is from our Sara's Enchanted Dreams. They're different to the ones that come in that collection. These are all bespoke to this magazine, so you can't buy these anywhere else. So if you've got the magazines, you will be the only person that will have these with anyone else that has the magazine. So you've got your stencils in here, your stamps, your dies, your topper sheets, your papers, your magazine, and that's for £12.50. That's one of them. Only one. So you actually get another one. I love this. Look at that platinum price, £10 or $15.60. That's incredible. Now again, you're getting a load of other inspirational pieces in here. So the magazine has got different projects to the first one that we just showed you. Again, page to page, you've got quality projects, amazing inspiration. These are real crafters in here. Some of them are from people outside that send in, some are from our design team, some are from in stores. You've got just so many different projects in here, and there you go, your take a break side as well, so you can literally put your feet up, have a read of the magazine, do a puzzle, and you can get some crafty inspiration in there. Again, you've got freebies in there, so we've got our stamps. I love these ones. These were from our Stamps with Attitude, so you've got your zebras there and that elephant and your llamas at the top, absolutely lovely. You're also getting a set of dies in there, so you're getting your star dies with all those sentiments. You're also getting some stencils in there as well. I love this one, just really good for adding different stencils to turn it around that way. You've got balloons, you've got presents, flowers, borders, lots going on there, all your confetti there, it's just beautiful. And then you've got your template here, which you can make your own bunting, so really good if you want to go for those celebrations for the King's coronation. And also you're getting the same but different papers, where you're getting that amazing topper sheet, which are die cut, you can reprint them, and then all these beautiful spring, summer, sorbet colours, which are just incredibly beautiful. And all of those with that magazine is just absolutely amazing. So that's 2 magazines you're getting with all those freebies for the grand price of £10 if you're platinum. £10 is unbelievable, Johnny, absolutely unbelievable. So both of those, grab them while we've still got them. They are only a 24-hour deal. Now the other deal we've got, what I want to show you, because these are incredible value as well. You're getting 2 album spines here. One's 8-inch, one's 10-inch. It means you can make an album. The spine is always going to be that 10 or 8-inch, but you can make it whatever width you want it to be. So if you want it 8x6, if you want 8x3, you can do photo albums, baby books, diaries, anything you want, and these are going to be creative for you. They cut out in one pass, they have score lines in them, they have little crosses, you glue the crosses together, so and it makes that album spine. We've got plenty of tutorials online for those as well. Look at that platinum price, £29.60 or $33.60 for both of those, so you will get both of them. You do need the larger die cutting machine to have those, but they are amazing value today, £37 or £42. Incredible. Right, so let's have a look. We've got Brent watching tonight. I won't see you, Brent. Oh, he says, going on holiday, Debs. You've not mentioned it. Very funny, Brent. Sarah Brown saying, Debbie, wow, are you going on holiday? Yes, I am, Sarah Brown. Yes, our Brent, yeah, he's watching. Sarah Brown saying, have a wonderful time. Anne-Marie is saying, so excited for you, have a wonderful holiday. Colin's saying, are the Illustrator pens refillable? Actually, Colin, we don't class them as refillable, although they can be refilled. And I say that is because the brush nib, we don't recommend you taking it in and out because the brush nib is quite delicate. So I would say that don't refill them. But if you're very, very careful, you can take the brush nib out and refill them, but just be careful. But we don't recommend you do that, only in our Spectrum Classics. Jessica is saying she loves the colours of that dragonfly, Jan, and Heather is saying, Jan, your colouring is perfect. I love the colours that you chose. Mary Pat is saying, love that dragonfly. And Susan is saying, Jan, that is absolutely beautiful. I agree. Now we're going to have a little break while you check out your baskets, and then we'll come back for one more demo with our Jan before I hot foot it out. 35 minutes to go. Can you tell I'm a little bit excited? But anyway, have a look at this and we'll see you in a minute.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Redican. My presenter journey started in a little bit of an unusual way, to be honest. I was working as a manager for a charity. One of the aspects of that job role is something that we call live presenting. Decided I wanted a little bit of a career change, and my favourite aspect of the job is what we called live presenting. Typed it into a search engine, saw a presenting job pop up, something I'd never thought about doing before. But because one of my friends absolutely loves going to things like auditions, she suggested just go for it. As a presenter, it's really our job to be the connection. I think the reason that a lot of our fabulous Crafters Companions viewers enjoy watching us is because we are live. What else am I passionate about? Goodness, so many things. I'm a really, really passionate person about everything, pets and animals. So I'm currently at university studying for my master's in journalism, so I'm really passionate about that also. I think the thing that makes Crafters TV so special, and this isn't the most original idea, but it is an honest answer, is the people. I have a list of presenting fails. I do stuff all the time. I'm so clumsy. I like to call it spatially unaware.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much.
Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place.
Because I have a way of words that I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water.
That wasn't the one you just washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Mosby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
I went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with the and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami. I've got some. What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the product.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part. And it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously. The people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
Oh, I love seeing all your happy faces on there. It's so nice to hear what you think of us as much as we tell you what we think of our jobs, because they are amazing. We love it, and we're very lucky. But we're more lucky because we have you watching, and you make our day, honestly, with your lovely comments. And your comments coming in for Jan today have been amazing. So thank you so much. Right, we're going to go back to that Once Upon a, I was going to say Once Upon a Forest. It's not one. Where's Once Upon a Forest? Where did I get that from?
In the making there.
Once Upon a Forest. Oh, never know. Perhaps that's a new one coming. It's really not. Once Upon a Time. Should know that. Look, there's even a die that says Once Upon a Time. It is Once Upon a Time, isn't it? I'm questioning myself now, yeah. You've got your Once Upon a Time. Where did I get Once Upon a Forest from? I've got a feeling that was a film. There was a film Once Upon a Forest.
I've not seen that one.
I think
You
it's a
obviously watch
cartoon
different films to me.
So Once Upon a Time, our Charlotte's going to Google it and find out. I'm sure it's a little cartoon film. We've got our Prince and Princess. Yeah, 93. So my kids, so my my daughter was born in 93 and my son was born in 91. Yeah, I don't know why I said Once Upon a Forest. It's a lovely film. Oh, it's so nice because their forest gets burnt down and it's about saving their homes and finding things. Yeah, it's lovely. Yes, very cute. We've got our princess, which is absolutely gorgeous. So our silhouette princess. I love this one. I think this is one of my absolute favourite die and stamp sets, Make-A-Wish. I love the stamps that come with making those backgrounds, and that fairy is just absolutely beautiful. I want to put her on everything. We've got some shimmering pads as well, can you believe? They are stunning. You're getting them in a little pack like this. I'll bring them in so you can see them. And they are amazing, and they create the most amazing shimmer when you move them. Look at that shine, absolutely beautiful. And with this collection you do get a set of stamps which got so many different varieties on there that you can use. We've also got embossing powders, I said that either. It's going to be a long half hour, isn't it? Enchanted Rose embossing folder, not embossing powders. And then we've got our glass slipper, so which our Jan used in that first demo this morning. Absolutely beautiful. And Jan, I believe you've got another demo with these ones.
I have. I'm just looking to see whether I missed it or not. But was this one in the collection with the castle?
No, Jan. Oh. No. But Jan, you can use it. I'll let you because I'm going on holiday.
Honestly, my apologies. As I say, when I did my prep, which was a few days ago now, it's like they hadn't sold out at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the trouble. Sometimes we sell out of them, but it's okay because loads of people will have it because we've sold out.
Yeah, so apologies that you can't actually get hold of this one. Have we not got it as an individual either? It's called Fairy Tale Kingdom. He's having a quick look.
Having a look. It's
gone.
gone.
It's gone.
It's
See,
gone.
you just keep buying everything, yeah? So it is, if you have this one, then this demo's for you guys. So again, stamp and die set in this one, Fairy Tale Kingdom, and you're going to get that lovely castle, or you will have got, should I say, the castle. You've got the princess in there and the glass slipper. And then along with that, you're going to get the outline dies to cut all three of these out. So I was just going to stamp out the princess because I think last time I was here, I did a demo and showed you how to colour the castle in. So I've just got a little piece of my Nina cardstock again. I'm just going to pop her in the centre of there. Get her stamped out with that same alcohol-proof ink. And then we'll just have a little go at colouring this one in. So again, I've just got that flagstone ink, and we're going to pop that, not all over your hand, Jan, onto the cardstock there, and then we're going to bring in, I've just got 3 colours of alcohol markers, and again, it could be those lovely Illustrator markers that we've just had on, and again, press down all of it, Jan, there we go, we've got all the stamping. No, we haven't. Do you know? It's a good job I've got my stamp platform. There we go, look, there she is in her entirety this time. We had bits missing.
I don't want bits
Nothing
missing.
worse than having bits missing, is there? And again, I'm just going to bring that piece of scrap card back up. In fact, we'll cut her out. No, I will colour this one first because I've already got her cut out. Okay, so all I've done is just chosen 3, and I've actually used my tri-blends this time, but again, you know, you could use, if you've got those Illustrators, the colour families are the same. So, you know, if you've got a lavender LV1 in a tri-blend, we will do that in an Illustrator pen as well, depending on what combinations you've got. So I've got the fair skin blend. I'm just going to do her little bit of skin tone. I've got tan for her hair, and then I've got lavender for her dress. So just very, very quickly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time because, as I say, I've got one of these that I've already done. So again, just the skin tone, and I'm starting off with the lightest one in here. And we have got so many videos on colouring, whether it be using the alcohol markers, whether it's using watercolour for sort of adding as a colouring medium. If you have a look, as I say, if you're watching YouTube, then just have a look for Spectrum Noir colouring, and there is tons, particularly on our sort of Colour Me Happy shows and things like that.
What's your favourite colouring medium, Jan?
These are my go-to. I love a good art. Well, having said that, I like watercolouring as well. It depends what I'm doing. I do like watercolouring, but if I'm alcohol colouring, it's usually the tri-blends. I just love the fact that you've got the 3 shades all in one pen, and I haven't got to go scrabbling around to find me, you know, the rest of them. So I do use these a lot, I must admit. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to have to replace them, I think, because some of them are getting a bit sparse. So for her hair, I'm going to go with the mid-tone in the tan. And I don't know why, I always tend to do hair and skin first. Even though this is only a very small area, it was something that I was taught by the master herself, our Leanne, to do hair and skin first, because sometimes they can be the harder parts to do, and not to spend an age doing all the rest of it and then not be happy with. This is only a very small sort of part of hair and skin, but even so, it's just sort of ingrained now. So I'm just going to use that darker one around the edge there, and then just blend into that line just to take out that harsh line. And then her skirt, again, people say, oh, you know, I don't know how to sort of do this, but a lot of the stamps have got the detail in there. So where all those folds and those areas of her skirt sort of fall into place, it's all there in the line art. So just follow that. So again, I've got the lightest shade first. I'm going to do that all over in the top. Now, when you watch Leanne colour, she'll always talk about preserving the highlight. Now, I always forget, which is why I don't do it very often. I'd rather go in at the end with a white highlighter pen and add my highlights back in. And it is purely because I forget to leave that area. But basically, all she's saying is whereabouts the light would hit. So, for example, the light was coming from up here. This side of her dress would have like a highlight on it, and Leanne tends to leave a space there and not colour it in so that you've got that lighter area. But as I say, I tend to forget. So I must admit, it's a case of just bringing in the shading. And all I'm going to do is follow where those lines are on the stamp. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to make it any more difficult than that. And then, like I said earlier, don't be tempted to go over the top of that darker one to blend it, because a lighter colour will bleach out the darker colour. So I just touch the edge of it so that it allows that alcohol to almost like bleed into the next one, and it will start and blend all by itself. And then again, I'm going to work on sections of skirt. Rather than trying to colour the whole thing in one go, I'm just going to work on sections of it. So again, making sure that that first layer is what we call saturated, so that you've got enough colour down. And I tend to go over it a couple of times, I must admit, just to make sure that you've got that colour there at the bottom. You want enough colour down that there's enough alcohol in there to start moving it when you start blending. Okay, so don't be afraid to sort of saturate that area. And then I've gone straight from the lightest tone to the darkest in this one. I'm not going to go through the 3 colour blend. And again, I'm just going to add some of that darker in where those lines are, and use that actual stamp as a guideline. And then again, just nudge that line with the lighter one, just so that it blends out and it doesn't sort of just look like a harsh line. And you can see how this will sort of build up. And I've got one that I did at home that I'll show you when I'll just do a little bit more of that panel on here. I can see the time ticking away in front of me, so the last thing we want to do is finish late and stop our Debbie getting off, is it?
Oh, don't worry, you can carry on. I'll be gone,
She'll
Jan.
leave me. That'll be the clock strikes 8 and she'll be off. It'll be like, don't be leaving no glass slippers behind, will you?
It's the first time ever I've been clock watching.
Oh,
I never
bless.
do that in a show, never. And all I keep doing is just looking and thinking, oh, 25 minutes. I'm now like 20 minutes.
Bless you.
It's
It is
terrible.
very exciting,
I
I
am
must
so
admit, yeah.
excited. I mean, if you didn't guess, I mean, I'm very excited.
noticed.
I feel like a giddy school kid. Like,
Oh, bless
just
you. That's
doing
how it
such
should
a-
be when you've saved and you know you've got something nice to look forward to.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just
So again, if I bring
incredible.
this one in that I've finished, you
wow.
can see where we're heading with that and just how you create. All I've done is follow the lines on that artwork to create that depth with their skirt. And then I've used the die, so I've just popped the metal die all around it. And these are just built beautifully in that you can see the whole of the image. So literally line it up so that you can see the whole of your image through the inside, tape it down, all right, and then you're going to get this one cut out. Now again, something that I tend to do if I'm making embellishments to go on the top of the card is cut it a couple of times. So I've cut her out where I've done the colouring, I'll probably cut it first, and then I cut a second one out, just out of the Nina again, and I've stuck them together so that it gives you quite a substantial piece that you're working with as a topper then, rather than, because the Nina's a lot thinner than the multi-purpose card. And then I did the same with the castle. So we stamped the castle out and just used a little bit of grey in here. And as I say, last time I had this collection, I showed you how to do the castle. And then of course we've got the little glass slipper there as well. So those are all the components of that particular set that we're going to use. And then from the sentiment set again, I've just done the create your own fairy tale for this one and just matted and layered that on a little bit of silver in there again.
Lovely.
So we're going to pop this together just on a Z fold card this time, nice and straightforward. I've cut my card ready and I've cut it out of my white all-purpose card. So this will be 11.5 by 5 3/4. And the piece that's cut off the bottom is the piece that makes the return. So if you lay it out, this is it in its total. Okay, I think I did cut this one down slightly in the height of it. And then if you haven't seen these before, it's a half fold and then half again to fold back. And then you do exactly the same with this one. And then to make your Z, all you're going to do is take your piece that's going to go across and flip it over upside down. And then the long piece comes to the front and the short piece comes to the back to make that double Z fold.
Amazing.
So again, this time I've actually used papers, because I was using the lilacs there, I've gone for the Dragonfly collection. So I had papers from that one in my stash and I thought, yeah, because I've gone for the lavender here, I just wanted something that matched nicely. So again, I've used some cardstock from that collection. The actual textured purple card here and the papers are both from the Dancing Dragonflies collection. We're going to put this one in the back, like so. And then I've just popped a few little sequins in place, little star sequins in place, ready to place my other elements on. And then I've got a panel to go on the front there as well to match. So that one's going to go on here. Like so. And then for the band that goes across, again, this was a double-sided paper in this particular collection. So this was the front and this was the reverse of it. So I've kept the flowers on the front section and I'm going to put the long one on the front there. And then I've got one for the inside. So this one's going to go across here and mat and layer onto that one. And then I'm just going to put one, you can mat both of these, but I've just done the back one here. So those are going to go on like so, I think that way. So that's all my matting and layering done. And then on the back of here, we need to put glue or tape on the back of this piece. So I'm going to do the long piece first. So the long one is only going to stick to this front section. So I tend to sort of line it up here to see how far across I need to put my glue. So I'm only going to come across as far as that
I always fold mine back and then you can see what to go up against.
Yeah. So that one's going to sit not right at the bottom, but fairly close to the bottom there. And you're going to line that up with your outside edge of the card, and that'll stick to the front. And then we can actually put tape on this last section. So whether it's your tape or your glue or red line, however you want to pop that in there. And then if you close the whole thing, this one should fit nicely against this outside edge here. So again, just pop it down, make sure it's in the right place, and then we can commit to sticking it down. So that's actually my card base. You can see that double Z fold going on there.
Beautiful.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to have the castle was going in the back here. All right, so that one's going to tuck just level with here. So I think, yep, I'd pop some tape. Did this prep a little while ago, so it's remembering what I've done and
yeah.
what I've actually got ready and what I haven't.
Well, you're very organised.
So this one's just going to go right down to the bit here. In fact, I'll pop it over the top of there so that it's sticking like so. And then we're going to have our princess as if she's going up towards the castle. So I've just put foam pads down that side of her because I don't want it to overlap and stick to this side here. Oop. And again, Jan's law says that we have to have a bit of, you know, it is optional, it is not necessary this. If you've got good foam pads, which Crafter's Companion are, it is just something I've got into the habit of doing, like inking the edges of the paper, and now it's become compulsory in my world. So don't think you have to do it. It's just giving you that extra bit of insurance there. And then my sentiment, again, I've got the little pads on the back of that one. And this is going to go on that top section. So this one's going to go up here like so. And then the glass slipper, I just thought she's been to the palace and she's on her way out. I thought that would probably look nice that she's left it inside here. So rather than having it, we could put it on the front.
I think this is me, Jan, running out the building tonight.
Is this you off to
leaving
your,
my glass slipper?
Well, do you know, I'd seen the dress in the green room and I did wonder whose it was, I must admit. I'm going to pop it just on the inside there because she's left that behind when she ran off from the palace. So again, just one way of putting all those pieces together with that lovely little sort of scene going on. These are just some little sequin bits that I've got in my stash that I've just stuck on as extra embellishments. And again, you've got that gorgeous.
Oh, that's amazing. Jan, just gather your mates together and then we'll have a vote of the show. Absolutely beautiful, that design. Now, if you don't have that one, Susan's just said a really good comment and she said, it's all the techniques that Jan carefully explains that helps with or without the items that are in stock. And I totally agree. So whatever you've got, the way Jan has explained colouring in, you can take that into whatever is left in this collection.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. So top of the show then, we started off with the Once Upon a Time collection and we did the one with the little vellum panelling, showing you that archway and, excuse me, I think I've just eaten a fly. Don't know what that was. Oh, it might have been a spider, Johnny says, I hope not. I'm having a look up there to see that there's nothing happening. So yeah, that was number one from the Once Upon a Time collection. And then we also did the inside of that one as well. Number two was those lovely mindfulness stamps, and we did the heat embossing to create that lovely sort of sheen. And just pick it up. Is it coming up on the camera? Yeah, you can see it there, yeah. So a little bit of embossing powder on that one. That was number 2. Number 3, we showed you those lovely Illustrator pens, and then I teamed it up with one of the stamps that we've had on the craft vault earlier on today. If you were watching at 2 p.m, this was part of one of the collections on there. So that is number 3. And then number 4, we went back to the Once Upon a Time, and we've just created that little scene using one of those sets from the collection.
Amazing. So 1, 2, 3 or 4. Get your votes in. If you did want that collection, we have these beautiful dies now in the rest of the collection. So you've got our Happy Ever After. You've also got our Once Upon a Time, that beautiful silhouette princess, the shimmer inks that we've got in that collection as well. Those sentiments that Jan used on that beautiful card, that gorgeous fairy with all those different stamps in the background, and then we've got 2 embossing folders. So we've got that gorgeous rose, and we've also got the glass slipper as well, which is absolutely beautiful. Love that one. Right, get your votes in for those 4, but just before we check to see if we've got a winner, we've got aqua blends in. Now I love our aqua blend pencils. They're very forgiving. They got lots of colours that you've got in here. If I turn them around, you'll be able to see all those beautiful colours in the background then. I love this set because you've got your sort of your pinks and your yellows, but you've also got those earthy colours and blacks in here, darker colours that you can mix together to make completely different colour hues. Our pencils are artist quality, but not artist quality prices. The pencils themselves are slightly thicker than your regular pencils. Keep them in the tin because it will protect them from clashing about against each other, and you can do any sort of water techniques that you can do with your aqua pens, you can do with the pencils. They are amazing, including making yourself a little palette, a little swatch palette, which are incredible. I can't believe I'm saying this, but platinum price £10.99, $13.19. That's absolutely amazing for our pencils. Now, if you haven't tried them before, I think now's the time to try them. So pop them in your basket, give them a try, and you'll love them, I promise you. Right, the other thing we've got is some pens. Oh, we got a demo of a show. A demo of show's number 4.
Oh,
so
lovely, that's the one that we've just done, yeah.
Right, we're going to do demo of the day. I'm going to grab the one Jan did earlier, so let's bring that one. One from Wake Up Call is our glass slipper. So glass slipper is number 1.
Once Upon a Time versus Once Upon a Time.
Absolutely, and number 2 is number 2. So get those votes in. Oh my goodness, I've only got 7 minutes left. I'm getting so excited. Oh, sorry. Calm down, Debbie. Nearly time. You'd think I was going tomorrow, wouldn't you, on holiday? I've still got to wait till next Monday. Well, on Sunday. We're going Sunday. Right, pen trays, universal pen trays, which means whatever pens you've got in your stash, whether they be any of ours, so our Illustrator, our Tri-Bends, our Classics, anything you've got, our Aqua markers, they can all go in these pen trays, but also any other brand that you've got out there as well. So they're great to have. So if you're someone that's a bit of a pen collector, and you like your pens, these storage trays are amazing. They're stackable. You can stack them side by side. You can stack them slightly at an angle as well, which is great. So then you've got a staggered effect. $9.99 or $12.47. Platinum price for 6 trays, $7.99. No wonder these are selling like hotcakes. You're absolutely loving them. And like I say, universal. You can use them with all your pens. So absolutely love those ones. Now, tomorrow, I don't know what's coming tomorrow. What's coming tomorrow? Ben and Craig are back. Big wake-up call, apparently. Oh, I know why. I do know what's happening tomorrow. Our Sara's coming in. But first of all, we've got a craft-along. Who's doing the craft-along? Word cuttings. Word cutting, stamp and dies. Well, I don't know what those ones are. Ooh. Craft along is at 2 p.m, 2 till 3. Just an hour for the craft along, and then at 5 p.m. we've got 3 hours cartload. It's a birthday special, of course, because our birthday, Sara, was yesterday. She's got her amazing cartload, 3 hours. It's going to be amazing, and you know she is going to be putting the best deals in that show. So make sure you tune in for that 3-hour extravaganza. Yes, we have a winner. Demo of the day goes to number 2. That will go in for our vote for the end of the week.
Thank you very much.
Jan, when are you next back with us?
I am back here
before me.
Is it not next Monday, the 8th, the Monday after? So 2 weeks today. Yeah, I shall be back on Monday the 8th, which is actually a bank holiday here in the UK. But yes, we're going to do a little bit of crafting on that one. I'm down at our TV studios next week.
Nice.
Our TV partners next week, and then yes, back on
ITV.
Monday. Our TV studio.
Oh, you said I'm down at ITV.
No, our.
It's like,
our
hang on a
TV
minute.
partners.
Have you not told us about something? Well, on the 8th, I'll be in Bali then.
Oh,
yeah.
do you know?
Thank you, everyone, for everything. Honestly, thank you for all your lovely comments. I will be back and I will have safe travels. And I love you all. Bye.